Hello, welcome to Sizzle Crypto, and on today we're going to be looking at Bitcoin, XRP, USDT dominance, and Ethereum. And news that shakes the market. Let's get right into it. All right, for Bitcoin, as we can see, been playing out very well. Definitely had a big uprise. We're at 104,000, and right now on the 4-hour chart, 4 hours means every one of these is 4 hours. We got a double bottom, and what we want to see is that the MACD goes more in an uptrend. We want it to curve upwards, but that's based on price action. So what I'm looking at is the RSI. RSI is forming essentially a double bottom, and it looks like it's trying to play out. I wouldn't be surprised if we touch around 107,000, which should give positive price action to the rest of the altcoins. Bitcoin dominance probably will be taking lead, but Ethereum has been hot, and we're going to get into that. But for now, let's check out USDT dominance. And for USDT dominance, what we want to see here is a rejection of this falling wedge. It already broke out, and now essentially it's going for a second retest. And what we want to see is a big rejection. We want to see it go down. We don't want to see it go up. If it goes up, it looks like Bitcoin, XRP, and Ethereum is going to take a little bit of a hit, which is fine. It could be just a normal correction. It doesn't mean it has to go up all the way to the moon. And what I want to show you on that is, for example, right here. First off, we talked about Fibonacci retracements last time. And what I want to show you is that if you look from the measured move, it touched here. And like I said, in a bullish market, when it needed to cool off, a little bit of a correction, it hit the 328. But look at this. A correction can lead into a positive chart. And what I mean by that is, look at this. It went up, kind of went down, up, needed to correct, and now it formed a double bottom. So a correction doesn't mean it has to be some super bearish for long term, or it's going to completely destroy the market. Usually a bearish trend, not usually, but a bearish trend can always make a bullish price action move. And what I mean by that is, like, example, the double bottom it formed here. And then what happened after it cooled off a little bit, let the RSI take a breather. Look, RSI became into the normal range, not the overbought range. As you can see, overbought, played another move, overbought, and it cooled off, forming a double bottom on the RSI, but also a double bottom on the chart. As you can see, it stabilized around the 382 level, and then off to the moon. Another price rise. And we're just looking at XRP. I got some great news for XRP today. And what I want to show you for this, look at this. Touched up here. Boom. Went back to the 382 level. Needed to cool off a little. Let the price action cool off. We're going to see, what we want to see here is price go above this high, because the uptrend is a higher high and lower low. So you want to see a higher high. But what I really want to see is the RSI hit higher than this one. You don't want to see the RSI, it come up here and form a lower high, right? So if you look here, you don't want to see it form a lower high, because you're like, oh man, price action's higher. Let's just say it went right here. Price action's higher, but the RSI is lower. And that would be a bearish divergence, which practically just says that the price needs time to cool off. It needs to take a little bit of a break. Sellers are going to start selling, and we might see a bigger correction than the one to the 382 level. Right here. And what I want to be careful is a double top. where price action couldn't form a higher high, and essentially it forms the same high. And especially if we get bearish divergence, I wouldn't be surprised if we go down. And there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you got to take a little bit of a break. Sometimes it's like, okay, wow, price has been rising for a good minute. Let's look at how many days the price has risen. 1, 2, 3, a little bit of cool off, 4, 5. So 5 days of complete rising price action. Nothing's wrong with that. That's a good thing. That just shows that we're entering more of a bullish trend. As you can see on the 1 day, we definitely went through a month plus of a downtrend. And now it's time for an uptrend. And on the over macro scale, we're still in positive price action moves. And oops, dang it. And what I mean by that, higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, which is a little scary, but it broke out of a falling wedge, which is positive. So we really want to see when this does eventually cool off for a correction, we want to see the whole price action become a higher high, which shows that even if there's a cool off, because this is essentially right here it's just a cooling off period. It needed time to cool off. Look at this rise from the last time we had a bull market. Look how high that went. And now it needed to cool off. And it even went up to here. So there's nothing wrong with this. This is just showing that we're in some positive price action territory. And it's a great time to jump into the market. XRP has always been hot. And I got some news to support that. And let's get into Ethereum. Ethereum has been very positive. Right here is what I want to show you. Is a rising wedge, which is a bullish price action pattern, which you want to see is it the fully play out. But just for the sake of time, I'm just showing you right now. If you're looking to get into a trade and you feel like that we're in positive price action territory and that USDT dominance might break down, or if it does break down, you want to kind of wait for more of a confirmation. Ethereum is looking really juicy right now. It's looking great. You definitely see this anywhere you see a rising wedge where the price action stays at the top, but the bottom of the price action is rising. Anytime you see that, that is a bullish, very bullish pattern. And essentially, Ethereum has been having so much good price action and so much good news behind it. I wouldn't be surprised if we see this play out very well. Now, is it going to take time? Will it come down one more time before it shoots to the moon? We'll just have to see. Let's look at some on the 1 hour frame. I see nothing wrong. I see this just rising. So we'll just see. If it's something you want to jump in now, that's up to you. But I would highly tell you to look at the chart this out yourself, and make your decision at your own discretion. Now let's get into some news. The SEC and Ripple settle XRP lawsuit with $50 million payout, dropping appeals pending court lifting injunction. What I want to show you from this is essentially, isn't it funny when you pay money, the fine goes away and the lawsuit goes away? XRP and so many crypto have been in many lawsuits. And I've seen this over the years plenty of time. Once you pay a fee, wink, wink, or whatever you got to pay, all of a sudden the lawsuit goes away. SEC had a lawsuit against Ripple again. And after a $50 million payment, dropping appeals pending court lifting injunction. Oh my God. You throw money at something and all of a sudden it goes away. Isn't that funny? Okay. And let's jump into the next. XRP overtakes USDT as the third largest cryptos after 10% price surge in 24 hours. Point is, XRP is huge. It's here to stay. A lot of people love it. You got the XRP army. It's not going away. And it looks like it's been winning or at least paying off all the lawsuits it's ever had against it. So definitely positive for XRP, and to me, it always has. There's always been FUD in the market, but XRP always seems to be leading with a strong bullish trend. So now let me show you what FUD looks like. Okay, I showed you yesterday how, or not yesterday, but a while ago, how Ethereum had a 40% increase in users using Ethereum, which is very positive, right? Shows like, oh man, interest in Ethereum is huge. And also, the price action has been matching that, especially with the Petra upgrade. It has hit really good price action. And then all of a sudden, you get articles like this. Is ETH dead? Oh my God, is he dead? Is it going to die? There's always going to be FUD in the market, and you don't know who's really pushing it. And usually there's always some form of, not always, but there's a lot of times there's a motive behind it. And it's either that someone from another project wants another project to succeed, and doesn't have to be someone from that project, or they want to get Ethereum at a better price. And if they can get you to sell your Ethereum, then the price will drop, which will give them time to buy up Ethereum at a cheaper price. Even though Ethereum right now has been showing very bullish positive price action, I'm no guru. I have no idea in the end run if Ethereum will be as great as it ever was or will be greater. But right now, Ethereum's here to stay. It's been very successful, and whether the gas fees are high, hopefully they can fix that, and it looks like they're working towards that. Solana's great too. All the cryptos, that's fine. But you get titles like this that try to make you panic. Even though right now, Ethereum is forming a bullish rising wedge, which if it plays out, another 14%, and it could hit about 3,000 again. I mean, Ethereum never played out the way I was hoping it to play out, because, last 4 years ago, Ethereum did 10,000 because Bitcoin was hitting all-time highs and new caps. Ethereum never did, and the highest I think Ethereum I've ever seen it was like around 4,000. Let's see. I don't know. I'm not going to go all the way back. But yeah, around 4,800. 100, I mean. And it never hit like 10,000. It never hit like those super high marks. But nevertheless, it's on a very bullish rise right now. And you know what? There's always going to be someone with a motive to try to curb innovation for whatever reason. I'm not them. But I'm just saying, be wary when you see FUD. Be wary when you see also the opposite, when you see positive news, because, there's always a motive behind it. It would be nice to have some unbiased journalism, but a lot of times it's funded by someone or there's some private interest behind it. But it's really not what you see. It's what the masses see. And if the masses see, Ethereum to the moon, and that's the sentiment, then you're going to see Ethereum rise. If you see the masses being like, Ethereum's dead, Ethereum's gone, Ethereum's going to be forever, no more, then you're going to see price action decrease, because it's what the masses are looking at. And then eventually institutional traders, if they think it's not going to die, they'll buy it all up at a super discount. So that's all I'm trying to get onto that. Now, one positive news, Arizona. I know we were talking about this before and how it got rejected for pensions and everything. But Arizona finally passed, and it's Arizona to become the second U.S. state to establish Bitcoin reserve using profits from unclaimed property, avoiding taxpayer impacts. So they're essentially approved an Arizona Bitcoin fund reserve. And essentially, that's just a very positive thing for crypto, because if your state, local governments are getting involved, then it's going to make the retail investor seem more comfortable if they can trust. I don't know why they would trust government, but if they could trust their local government, then they're going to say, hey, you know what? Maybe crypto is not so shady and it's something I can get into. Well, thank you for watching my video today. I hope you like and subscribe, and God bless you all. Have a beautiful day.